Okay. But then in 1994, Griselda's hitman, Rivi, who had allegedly killed 40 people, ended up turning informant. You knew Rivi.
Yeah, I think it was 94, yeah, 93, 94.
When you found out that Rivi had turned informant,
I didn't believe it.
how close was Rivi and your mom?
Pretty close, but that's another thing also. All right, so my mother's a queen, right? She's got her knights and her enforcers. Then there's Rivi. Then my mother, my brothers, my father, and his brothers, and Rivi and everybody else.
Yeah.
You get it? So, yes, they had a friendship, and yes, Rivi was in my house, but he'd be more around my brother Cheeky than my mother. So my father and my uncles were quite jealous with who you brought around my mother because, like I said, my mother gets blamed a lot for the evil shit my dad and my uncles did because they were the real cowboys. Matter of fact, if you see public record and you look up the Pistolero gang, those were the first cowboys. That's the Cocaine Cowboys. That was like named after them. And Los Pistoleros was my father's crew. So they're the ones doing all the murdering and killing. So they didn't want no other killers coming around my mother. But then Rivi becomes, he proved himself and he becomes real close. Cheeky takes over everything. So now Rivi and everybody works for Cheeky. So in 1994, to answer your question, when they say this, I'm like, not Rivi. Rivi's de mi casa. Rivi's from my house. And I'm there when Charles tells her, because I had just spoken to my lawyer. To this day, he's still my lawyer. I call him Uncle Nathan. I love him. Nathan Diamond. Nathan P. Diamond, best attorney in Miami. My mother turned pale. It was like, and I looked at her and I'm like, I don't think so. And she's like, it can't be, Maikito. And I'm like, bro, mama, you're about to jump out. It was 1993 because she was supposed to be released 93, 94.
Yeah, she was about to get out.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, now Rivi is now
7 homicides, something like that. Yeah.
connecting her to a bunch of murders.
Yeah.
So now she has a whole bunch of new charges, which include the death penalty.
Yeah, the electric chair in Florida.
Yes. She gets transferred to Miami.
Because of a phone call, yeah.
Yeah, to stand trial for that.
Yeah, she could have fought everything. And she could have wrote it out, but the truth is she was facing the electric chair, and I don't want to believe that Rivi did it 100%, and I'll tell you why. Because Rivi was from our house, and we knew Rivi, and when you're so Machiavellic, like, it's like, are you really gonna do it? So I think, this is my personal opinion, that everything that transpired within those months or those years that everybody was dropping it on my mother, I believe he knew he was gonna sabotage it. And my brothers told me that later on when I'm living with them in Colombia. They're like, man, Rivi is crazy, bro. He knew what he was doing, this, and that. He was just trying to beat a couple life sentences or his death penalty. And I'm like, I believe it too. And one of his relatives reached out to Uber, and we sent him $2,000 commissary. So I can say that whatever Rivi did, at the end of the day, I can't say I hate the man. Can't say I love him either. But I appreciate the fact that my mother wasn't on an electric chair. And I know she died violently, but at least it wasn't on a chair.